Hello. So welcome to recording number 12, and in this recording we'll be covering a little bit of an extension of blocks, and that is attributes. There's a very nice function in AutoCAD that allows you to repeat the block multiple times, but change a value of something or have it prompt you to add a value or fill in something that is a variable that keeps on changing. So for instance, if I wanted to draw the section line right here, so I'm gonna start typing. So I have a section right here, and I'm going to draw that just for illustration purposes. It's going to be exaggerated and big. So if I wanted to cut through the plan in this direction and I needed to have the circle that looks like this right here, and I'm just going to copy this right there, and notice how much time it's taking me to place my section line into the drawing. So that's why we are going to change this, and we are going to make it an attribute that is integrated inside a block. I'll show you how in a minute. So I'm just going to draw the section tag, just so you know what it is that I'm talking about. Now, if you're new to interior design, which you most likely are at this level, you will see, or you will get to know, that once we draw the plan and we have cut the building or cut through the building in a horizontal way, so you get to see what's inside the building from a top view, you will need to do a horizontal cut through the building, which means you will be standing right here, for instance, and looking in this direction. So you need to tell the viewer where exactly you're standing and in which direction you're looking. So if in this case I am standing along this line right here and I'm looking in this direction, so what I will be seeing is this part of the kitchen. I'll be seeing the wall thickness right here, and then I'll be seeing these, because this is a space that is empty and nothing is blocking my view. So I'm going to be seeing these in elevation. I'm also going to be looking at this part of the living room, and then I'm cutting through this window, and then I'll be seeing this from the outside only because I'm not cutting through it. You'll get more introduced into more details in architectural drawing, drawing for designers course in the future. But for now, this is how we draw the tags, and we're interested in the technical aspect. So this is an example of a drawing that really takes long and takes a lot of copying. And if you don't know yet, with sections, we need to give the section a name. So I'm gonna have to call this so that's text, and it's going to be probably this big, and it's going to be in this direction. So this is section A, and notice how much it's taken me to be placing it in the right location. And then I'm going to copy this once again, copy it right from here and place it here. And of course these need to be copied as well. Notice how long it has taken me to do all of this, and that's also time taken from the project and from my drafting. So to avoid that, I'm going to have this as a block, but I'm going to have AutoCAD requesting me or prompting me to change this and to input the value of this. Let's do this together right now. I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to move somewhere else. I'm going to draw the circle just like I did before, and I'm going to draw this arrow like I did before, exactly how I did it before, and I'm going to draw it right here and like so, and I'll just mirror this. Of course, always make sure that you're using the right layer. Right now I'm using the doors layer, which is incorrect. I should have a new layer for annotations, and I'm gonna go here and give it, say, a gray color, and I'm gonna move all of this to the annotations layer from here. And let me just find it. There. Okay. And then I'm gonna have to introduce here the empty space where I get to change. So it puts a space, like a placeholder, in PowerPoint and in other editing software and other processing software. Right here, I need to tell AutoCAD that I need you to hold a place right here where I'm going to be inputting a value, and I need you to ask me what this value is and automatically place it there. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab, and I'm going to say Insert Attribute, sorry. I'm going to go to Define Attribute under the Block Definition group. So I'm going to say Define Attribute right here. And a set of commands or a window comes up with a set of options. The most important are the options that are concerned with the attribute itself. Right now, I'm going to give the tag is the attribute's name. It's equivalent to the block's name. Now here we cannot have spaces, and we need to have proper words or something that relates to that attribute. So I'm going to call this tag or section tag, or say tag underscore section. Then I'm going to ask for the prompt. The prompt is what's going to appear in the command line. So it's going to tell me, please enter section name. The default value is going to be something that if I don't input anything, it's going to be empty. I can keep it A if I don't want to change that every time, or I can have a number or a value or a tag or anything that defines the default value. In this case, I'm going to keep it as A, and I'm going to change the justification to a left. I'm going to keep it to left, and here you can edit the text style as you want, and then you can play around with the mode. Right now, I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to accept the default settings, and I'm going to click on OK. Now notice how it's asking me to place the tag somewhere. So where do you want that tag to be? Now, because the default value is one letter, I'm going to look at the first letter, and because it's aligned to the left side, so I'm going to look at the first letter and make sure it's properly aligned in the center of the circle. Now notice how this has become too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit that. I'm going to scale it so that it becomes nicely fit inside my circle before I turn this into a block. So I'm going to move it and centralize it and play around with it as I find appropriate, and just turn my ortho mode off. And it looks pretty good here for me. Now notice how it's still under the name of the attribute, but that's going to change. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make sure that everything is in the correct layer one more time. So that is an annotation. So I'm going to place it under the annotation tab right over here. And then I'm just going to define my block. So B for block one more time. And I'm going to call this section annotation. And specify the center. Now normally I choose this point where I place my tag next to the line, and then it says specify the object. So I'm going to choose the shape with my attribute. I'm going to right click, and then I'll just accept the defaults, make sure that it's in millimeters, and then click on OK. Notice how it has prompted me right now to please enter the section name, which is the prompt that we added before, and the default value is A. So I'm going to click on OK, or maybe I can edit it right now, say M or B or whatever it is, and then click on OK. Now, notice how the attribute is slightly pushed downwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the block. So I'm going to go, because this has an attribute to it, I can still insert. So once I type insert right here, and I'll find it under the recent list. Once I place it there, you see how it's asking me to place that block from the insertion point that I chose. Once I choose the insertion point, it automatically comes, and I can easily define my next section. So I can make it B, C, or whatever. Now notice how I have a long list that is empty right now. That's because I can put multiple attributes in a single block. So if I had multiple attributes, I will see all the prompts for all the attributes right here, and I will have to fill all of them. And if I don't, the default value will come out. So I hope this helps you in working with your AutoCAD file. Now I know this doesn't seem to be very useful working with blocks and attributes. However, it will come in handy when you start working with layouts with prints, or the way we're going to plot the assignment, and it will also come in handy when you start working on actual plans and sections and drawings. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please write them down and I'll be happy to answer them.